Hi, so this is Vinny from the iMoot team. I'd like to welcome everybody to Frankie Kam's session, Moodle and PDFs from clunky to funky to maximum coolness. Frankie is another Moodler based in Malaysia. He loves to tinker and really kind of push Moodle to its limits, always introducing new features, using extra bits of code, and just trying to bend it into different shapes than it normally likes to go into. So thank you very much for presenting for us today, Frankie, and I hope everyone enjoys the session.
Okay, yeah, Vinny, I've got 45 minutes, is that correct? Including Q&A?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, okay, cheers.
Thanks very much.
Okay, thanks, Vinny, for that nice introduction. You make Moodle sound like Play-Doh. And for those of you who just joined the presentation, welcome to my presentation on Moodle and PDFs, from clunky to funky to maximum coolness. I encourage you to use your chat window. Maybe you can type some messages as I'm speaking. I don't mind. In fact, I love it if you would contribute some thoughts. So hi to Barbara, Bus Brands, who I think you've written, what was that? Okay, you've written a lot of code on which a lot of the teams are based on. Elmer Forrest, Jeff White, and Nick Varney, welcome. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, hold on a second. Vinny, I've got a little problem with my keyboard. When I hit my keyboard, I seem to lock out of big blue button. How do I move to the next slide? Thanks. Okay. Okay, so a little bit of introduction about myself. I'm the same age as Daniel, what's his name? James Bond. So therefore you should be able to know how old I am. Married with one wife and 2 kids. I taught at Stanford College, Malacca for about 17 years teaching IT. And that's when I started to use Moodle in 2010. And then in 2011, I started blogging, mostly about Moodle hacks, stuff which you probably never find into the plugin library at moodle.org, but never mind, it's quite fun, hacking away and making Moodle look like Play-Doh. So currently I work at Cambridge English for Life. It's an English provider here in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, as a web developer. And I also use Moodle to as applications to solve business problems, to make the user's life easier, etc. Some non-Moodle stuff. I love to play chess. I like to play on my computer, flight games, anything to do with military, combat simulations, books. I go to gym less than 1 time a week. There's a little joke there. My wife goes at least 3 times a week. And I need to get out of the room more often. Is my audio okay? Hi, Kim. Hi, Elmer, Celine. Hi, Gareth. Okay. So welcome to the second slide. I'm going to move on to the third slide because of time, yeah? Okay, what's the presentation all about? Basically, I changed the way I open and download PDF files on my Moodle site. It's also a bit more than just programming. It's also looking at the usability point of view of the user and to reduce their frustration, especially new users. And then it's also about promoting Moodle to reluctant teachers and new students so that we'll see them again next semester logging into the Moodle course. It's something that I think is important. It's also about the endless possibilities of programming in Moodle and also about changing the way people use Moodle. Hi, Barbara. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, that's not good. Okay, it's about, basically it's about design, yeah? I remember, what's his name? Apple. Steve Jobs, he used to come down hard on his icon designers, telling them, look, you've got to improve the design. There are millions of people who are going to be using this icon every day, and you want them to accept that design. So he really drove the design at Apple, and this presentation is basically all about design, specifically about opening PDFs on Moodle. Okay, learning outcomes, you will understand my motivation for changing the way PDFs are opened and downloaded. You will understand why I've come up with the presentation. And before the presentation, actually, I wrote some code which I kind of liked. I don't know whether it's the first time any Moodle site has made a PDF file behave that way. I don't know, but to me, it's the first time. You also get to modify your Moodle site the same way as I do. Now, bear in mind that I'm not going to be able to go into every nitty-gritty, but the good news for the technology guys, Bas, Gareth, some of these names are the who's who in Moodle, as well as open source programming. I'm going to give all the code that I have. I'm going to hold nothing back. Everything I'm going to give back to the community. Warts and all, okay? Warts and all. You're also going to know the 3 technologies behind what I've done using Moodle's PDF.js, Fancybox, and Viewer.js, mostly the first 2. And then hopefully you'll be able to think and reflect on the possible areas, what other possible areas of Moodle could be improved so that we could improve the usability, especially among new Moodle users. Okay, so these are the learning outcomes. Right, Act 1, my motivation. I recently designed a Moodle site for an institute in Malaysia, and they were totally new to Moodle. The lecturer was totally new, the students were new. And what I noticed was the lecturer would use the drag and drop feature a lot, dragging and dropping files, especially PDF files, onto the course page. He did also use a sprinkling of forums as well as the assignment activity. So basically, file resource, forum, and assignment activity, mostly file resource. So the teacher was using the Moodle as a file repository. And so we see a lot of files on the page. Here's an exam administration page that I put online. Again, the main reason for this was for the staff at my organization to download files, especially the centers that we own, which are scattered throughout Malaysia. So as you can see, there are Word files and PDF files again. So some users wanted to download the files very fast. Almost all wanted to print. Others wanted to view before printing. And if you're like me, who clicks the download button a lot, I find my download folder full of stuff which I need to clear off or delete or move elsewhere after a while. I don't know about you. So how do I balance the needs? Now, just going back again, my main motivation actually was to make Moodle more appealing and more easy to use and more fun, more funky for the new user, specifically in the area of opening the PDF files. So I asked myself a few questions. Firstly, why can't I open a PDF on the same page as my Moodle course page? By default, if you install a new Moodle site and you drag and drop a PDF file onto it, the file may or may not open. If it does open, it will open on the same page as the Moodle course page. therefore obliterating the Moodle course page. If there's another way to do it differently, then I'm all ears. Secondly, I wanted to know how can I give the users the same experience with different platforms, iPads, Samsung tablets, smartphones, every kind of device known to man. I don't think I'm there yet, but I hope to contribute something to the community. And thirdly, how can I give the user a choice between quickly downloading or viewing a PDF, or maybe viewing one and then viewing a PDF and then quickly downloading it, all without jumping from screen to screen. So I wanted to solve these 3 problems. Okay, so you all okay so far? Right, so that's my motivation. Okay, thanks, Elmer. Okay, I did a bit of research on Twitter. Now, research in inverted commas, because this is not reflective of Moodle now due to the dates of which the Twitter posts were made. But generally, we find that users have problems opening PDFs of Moodle. Now, I don't know whether it's a problem with the browser that they're using or their system. It may not necessarily be Moodle. So students being students, they tend to blame Moodle as the LMS. But anyway, some things to note would be like Vanessa Huxtable. She says, step 1, open Moodle. Step 2, open PDF. And what happens next? So there seems to be some kind of uncertainty or even inconsistency in the way that the PDF file tends to open up on the computer, especially when it's been put on Moodle. Now, once again, I won't blame Moodle. I wouldn't necessarily jump the gun and blame Moodle altogether. It could be the user problem. Yeah, that's right, Bess. It's scary. It's probably lopsided. Okay, I wouldn't take it as research. Actually, it's just people's opinions. And then Frederick says clicking 4 times, and then he's experiencing some kind of usability problem there. Maybe so many mouse clicks or taps. And then Joe just wants to be able to download the bloody files directly. Okay. So sometimes we find people comparing the experience of opening PDFs, especially like Mitch, opening on Facebook, but he can't open a Moodle. So they tend to compare things, which is a bit unfair. Emily says, I hate when teachers put PDF files on Moodle, but I can't see them on my phone. And Kara says, is there another way to get PDF files off Moodle without Adobe Reader? So in other words, if the PC, if her computer didn't have Adobe Reader, was there a way to read PDF files? Blanco says, rants and says, why PDF everything in Moodle? And Alice is getting fed up. So the question I of course, to answer their questions, to know if I had perfect information, then I would know what browser they used, what was the platform, and I would also be able to diagnose what was it, a user problem or the software. But still, generally, Twitter is full of not full. I counted at least 30 over related problems over a span of 4 to 5 years. Okay. Now, if I went to Google and type Moodle iPad open PDF, I would find quite a few links on tech support giving advice how to open PDF files on iPads, which is an iOS device. And some of them would include, you have to change your theme to the mobile theme, and that way you can open and read everything past the first page on your iPad. So it does seem to be an issue on iPads, not necessarily now. Again, it depends on what's installed on the iPad. Okay, moving along. Okay, so I just want to have a quick look, very fast review. Okay, what happens? This is a fresh install of Google Chrome, and as you can see, I've just drag and dropped 3 files, and then when I click, what happens is that the PDF file opens on the same page. Now, this is actually fully functioning, of course. This is what we usually see, I think. And there's no problem here because you can actually print, you can download, you can magnify. But what happens is that the user's got to click the back button to go back. So I always had this question in my mind, why do we have to jump away from Moodle and then jump back to Moodle? Isn't that a usability issue? Well, some will say, what's the fuss? You know, it loads up quite fast. I get to do what I want. So I wanted to take the challenge of doing things differently, which was to not have this scenario. Okay, in Opera, same thing. This is a fresh installation of Opera a couple of days ago when I created the slide. When I clicked, again, the PDF file opens on the same page. Of course, you have the nice controls here, but once again, you've got to click back. Yeah. So what's the deal? What's the deal? As a user, they can do almost everything, but still, you out of Moodle, and then you got to go back again. What happens if the user clicks accidentally closes the window? On the iPad Safari, this hand icon represents my finger tapping the link. So what happens when I tap the link? This is on my iPad running on iOS 9. We get this, which is fully functional. I can zoom in. I can pinch in and out. I can also open the PDF file in iBooks if the iBooks app is installed on my iPad. Now, once again, to go back, I need to click on the back button or the back symbol on the iPad on the top left-hand corner. This is on again on Safari. I think I have to hit tab backwards, and then I have to tap twice. Yeah, I've got to hit the back to Safari button, and after that, I've got to hit the less than sign to return to Moodle. Okay, Internet Explorer, same thing, drag and drop the files, and then when I click on a file, it gives me this, similar to the other browsers. Okay, so again, you've got to hit the back button. Mozilla Firefox, interestingly enough, I uninstalled my Mozilla Firefox and installed the latest Firefox 41 point something. And what happened was that I found that when I clicked on the link, nothing happened. In actual fact, it was downloading to my download folder. But for a moment there, I thought nothing was happening. And then I discovered that you actually need to go to your options button on Mozilla Firefox and then go to applications. This link here is the source of the answer to why nothing was happening. And then from the applications, I need to search for the scroll down or type PDF at the search edit box. And then once the PDF row is highlighted, this is where I noticed that the default action was to save the file. So what I did was I changed it to preview in Firefox. Okay, so when I changed it to preview in Firefox, as you can see over here, you can see my cursor, right? Yeah. So and then I went back to the Moodle site, and then I clicked on the link, PDF link. Now it opened in Mozilla's PDF.js viewer, which is the inbuilt PDF viewer for Mozilla Firefox. But once again, you've got to click the back button. So in all these cases, the user gets out of Moodle, and he's in that environment, the PDF environment, which is perfectly fine. But again, I said I wanted to do something different. What is this? Okay, failure to open PDF document. Okay, I can't remember why I put this thing here. Okay. This is just one of the solutions given by Richard Price on how to open the PDF file. There was a problem that was solved here. I think I'll just move on. So there's some frustration there. Okay, and so this is what Richard Price was talking about. You go to Chrome plugins, and then you search for Chrome PDF viewer, and then from there you make sure that it's enabled or something to do with the enable or disable. Okay, now for time, I'm just going to skip ahead. Okay, technology. This is where I introduced the three amigos. The first amigo is pdf.js. Here's the website. They've got a download where you can download the zip file. They've got a live demo, and they're continually developing pdf.js using the GitHub project. And just now you saw Lady Liberty. Yeah, on the PDF.js inbuilt viewer. So that's the same technology there. Yeah. Next is Fancy Box. This is basically a Lightbox alternative. I believe Moodle has got some Lightbox related plugins, especially for images. So this is an alternative to Lightbox. And it was built mainly to display graphics and videos. And the third one is Viewer.js, which actually uses PDF.js as well. And the purpose of this viewer is open source viewer that allows you to open Microsoft Office files that have been first converted into open document format. If the MS Word file or the Microsoft Office file is on a public server, then we don't need to convert it to ODF. But if it's drag and dropped onto Moodle, then we can't open it using the native, not in any way that I know of, unless you convert it into ODF. And then when you drag and drop an ODF file onto the course page, you are able to open the file using Viewer.js as well. I'm not familiar with integrating Google Docs and Moodle, so I'm not sure exactly how to open Word files inside Moodle themselves. I do know how to open Word files if the Word file or the Microsoft Office file was in a public folder on the web server, but that has security issues, and the Google engine will record your links. Okay, so those are the three technologies, right? So no secrets there. Okay, now I'm going to go to the third part quickly now. Now for the modifying part, I'm just going to show you the main steps, okay? Because the code that I used, right, I'm going to put it on the iMoot site, on the iMoot page. I'm even going to put it on my blog, and you're free to dissect it, criticize it, correct me, and etc. Especially those who know better JavaScript jQuery. So first step was to edit the config.php, and I managed to simplify the process so that I only needed to upload one jQuery Fancy Box JavaScript. I'm sorry, one CSS file, that's jQuery.fancybox, and then two JavaScript files. Okay. Now these three files, I got them from the FancyBox site, and maybe one or two other related sites related to two other sites related to FancyBox. Okay, so that's the first step. I modified the config.php. Secondly was I dropped in the two JavaScript files into the JavaScript folder. Now, as I'm talking about all this, I believe that in Moodle 2.9, there's a new technology of integrating JavaScript, which is something called AMD. It doesn't stand for Advanced Micro Devices. It stands for something else. I'm still trying to get my head around that. So I think what I'm using is old technology, if I'm not mistaken. There's this new AMD thing that's come in for Moodle 2.9. Anyway, so I dropped in the two JS files. Thank you, Gareth. Gareth, you're the man. You're the man. And then next, I dropped in the fancybox.css into the style folder. Now, once again, what's the contents? You'll find out after the presentation when I upload the files. Yeah, there's no time to really go into all the details. And then I put the what do you call it, the sprites or the image files that the window or the pop-up will use, and I put them into a separate folder called pics PDF, so that I don't clutter the style folder or I don't clutter the JavaScript folder, just to keep it separate. So these are the files that I used. And then, early on we talked about pdf.js. I told you there was a download button. We could download the zip file. So I downloaded the zip file, and then I FTP'd the entire contents of that zip file into my Moodle page. Yeah, my Moodle page is sorry, my Moodle site. So there's a subfolder. So all the code of pdf.js is there. And the advantage of this is that I'm able to, if I wish to, I could also modify the code and hack the files or change the loading spinner image if I wanted to. I could even rebrand the spinner image by putting my company logo. Yeah, that's right. Moodle plugins has got pdf.js folder. I've used that before. It's pretty good. It also uses pdf.js, but you've got to create the pdf.js folder activity. Nothing wrong with that. It works fine. But I wanted a way where the user could just drag and drop on the page, no fuss, and open it up. Okay, I had to modify the renderer. I'm sorry, I don't have a plugin for this. It's hack code. It's hacking call code, which is a no-no, I think. But no-no as far as Moodle.org is concerned. But we got to start somewhere. Okay, I'm just experimenting, and it works so far. So I modified the render.php file, and this is a sample of it. Basically, what I did was I was also able to identify the browser. So depending on the type of browser, for example, if the user is using Google Chrome, I can have separate code to deal with that. Yeah, and if you look down here, what I'm doing is I'm passing I'm actually creating a URL that basically will pass the link of the file resource to the pdf.js viewer.html. Yeah, so I'm feeding my file resource into the pdf.js viewer.html. Yeah, thanks, Garrett. I'm not an expert in Teams. I'm still learning. I'm learning new stuff every day, and I appreciate. Yeah, if there are better ways of doing it, that's right. I'm all ears. More code again. This time you see that's Firefox, a bit small. I'm sorry, it's not very clear. It is _ Firefox. So again, I'm dealing with Firefox separately, and I can check if the user is using IE, or they're using iOS or even Safari, and I deal accordingly. This one here is I guess it's a better way of checking if the user has uploaded a Impress open document format file, or whether he's uploaded a calc file or writer file. This basically are open office files. Yeah, open office now has got a new name. I forgot what it was. So this is how I can also check that if the user has converted the Microsoft Office file into ODF file, then I can use viewer.js to open up that ODF format file. Viewer.js, by the way, can be used to open PDF files, except that I found that viewer.js loaded it much slower than pdf.js. pdf.js had something called a lazy loader, where if a PDF document was multiple pages, you could start reading the first page even before the last page had finished loading. Whereas viewer.js I had to wait quite a long time for it to load. But for opening ODF files, open Office files, it worked just fine. Okay, so down here you see the if statement. This is where I'm checking for a document or a file resource if it's PDF, if it's a PDF file, and then I process accordingly. Now I'm going to jump to the results. Okay, now you're looking at basically this is a pop-up window. You can't move the window, but you can close it, and this is actually opening a Microsoft Word. I didn't show you the code, but this uses the MS Office. Microsoft Office has got a code where you pass a URL to it, and as long as the Microsoft Word file is on a public folder in your server, it will open up just fine inside your web browser. But that's not the main thing we want to talk about. Okay, other examples. Okay, here's an example of an early prototype of the pop-up. As you can see, we've got a fully functioning pdf.js on window. Yeah, this is actually on my desktop, but it works the same on the iPad. And basically, it's fully functioning. You can use all the icons at the top here. You can go for the thumbnails on the left. You can drag and resize the two panes, and then you can also rotate clockwise and anti-clockwise. Now, all this, we can do all this, including downloading. We can do all this without leaving the Moodle page. So I've just clicked on the link. I think it was one of these links here, and then this window popped up. and then I click the X button, it closes, and I'm back to the Moodle site, course page. A few more examples. This one I liked. What I did was I changed the default spinner image into a Rubik cube that rotated, so that as the pages are loading, occasionally this will pop up, depending on how fast the page loaded up. So it's a nice touch because you can actually customize you could customize the rotator or the spinner GIF file. You could even brand your company by putting your logo there. There you go. Okay, and then this, of course, was the institute that I designed what do you call it? This pop-up for. Did I design the Moodle site? And here the teachers teaching them about the Constitution, about politics and Constitution, and then it's really nice on the iPad. I really like it because on the iPad you can pinch and zoom in and zoom by pinching on the board just outside of the borders, and everything's functioning. Of course, on the iPad, I don't think you've got the print or you do have the print, but one or two icons may not be the same, may be missing. But it works just fine on the iPad. I could scroll up and down. I could close the button. Like I said, this presentation is about design, and each time I do this, I get a nice warm fuzzy feeling doing it. Here's another one. Yeah. Now, if you notice down here, we've got the title tag. The value of the title tag appears down here, and using the PDF.js. I'm sorry, using Fancy Box. This is actually a Fancy Box. Yeah, it's actually. Sorry, let me give you the big picture. The outside window is actually a Fancy Box, and inside the Fancy Box is the PDF.js viewer. So we got a PDF.js viewer within the Fancy Box. And Fancy Box has got various nuances, different features where you can actually customize the handle, so to speak, the title description. Okay, I'll move on. This is actually an ODF file. It doesn't say it's ODF, but you can see that this is actually viewer.js because it's got a URL down here and the icons look slightly different. Yeah, there you go. It says viewer.js. But the problem with viewer.js, I mean, with all due respect to the code, it's good code, but I found it loaded slower. If you go to my demo sites, one of my demo sites that's cfl4u.org/test. I created a label activity, and then I went to HTML mode and I pasted some code, and that code basically well, it's a link to a YouTube video, and then of course when you click on it, it opens as a light box, as a Fancy Box. Okay. So just a nice touch there, but I think this already exists on Moodle using other plugins. But anyway, it's a nice touch. Okay, well, the title of my presentation was from clunky to funky to, what was the last part? Maximum coolness. Right, I talked about giving the user an option between downloading and opening. So what I did was I modified the renderer.php file that you saw earlier on, so that if the user clicks on the icon, it downloads straight away. In some cases, in Chrome, if you click, it downloads. If you left click on Chrome, it downloads. If you right click in Firefox or in Internet Explorer, then you will have to save target as. That's a right click for the other two browsers. But in either case, in each case, if you click on the text link, then it would open up the pop-up window. So this screen shows you the user clicking on the icon to quickly download the files. Because before I did this, I found that in order to download the file, the user had to click on the link, the window pops up, and then he's got to click on the download icon. So 2-3 steps, whereas now it's a 1 step to download. So what if the user wants to open up the file to view it before printing? That's where he or she clicks on the link, and then the Fancy Box opens up. Inside the Fancy Box, you've got a PDF.js. So that way, even the teacher, sometimes the teacher could be absent-minded. the teacher could drag and drop an older version of a file. So this really comes into its own when the teacher or the instructor wants to check the contents of the file without having to jump out of Moodle, or even to check his or her download folder. Three more slides. Okay, so almost towards the end. I've gone a bit over time. Sorry about that. Another 5 more minutes, yeah. But we're almost finished already. So in appendix, right? This is work in progress. A lot of areas of improvement. If you Google Fancy Box full screen, there's another GitHub page that shows you how you can add a full screen icon to the Fancy Box window so that it opens up in full screen. And someone else managed to move the Fancy Box window around, move it around. Currently, I could only get it static in the center of the screen, full size, as full size as possible. And then Fancy Box and PDF.js have many features as well. This is a sample GitHub's page where they managed to add a full screen icon to the Fancy Box window itself. Okay, so that's it from me. There's another 5 more minutes, I think, Vinny. So I'm open to questions, and maybe I'll just show back the screen over here. If anybody has any questions to ask, you can ask me. Okay, so like I said, it's pretty basic. It's pretty basic, and I encourage you to try the demo sites. Now, if you go to my demo site and you click on the link, and the pop-up window doesn't appear, but instead the PDF.js viewer occupies the entire screen, maybe you could try clearing your cache, your web browser cache, because I can't guarantee that this will pop up on your web browser, but as far as I know, on mine it does, and I tested it by clearing my cache, by clearing the Moodle cache as well. Thanks, Jeff. That's very encouraging. So when I first did this, I had a feeling like the man on the moon, you know, like, whoa, no one's done this before. I don't know whether anyone's done this before, but it's the first time for me, and I told myself, I've never seen a Moodle site that open the PDF file directly. And not only that, I can open ODF files, although most people don't use ODF files, they use Microsoft Word files, I think, Microsoft Office. So I managed to get this to work on BCU. The teams are BCU, Academic, Evolved. That's Chris Koeningberg's team. So far, I've managed to get it to work on 3 themes. I couldn't get it to work on Essential. I don't know why. I couldn't get it to work on Clean. I couldn't get it to work on the other stock one. What was it? Clean, and what's the other one that comes with the standard Moodle? Okay, so yeah, more. That's right. Thank you. So yeah, Essential is complex. I looked at the code. Oh wow, you know, it's not so straightforward. So I've only looked once at the AMD thingy on Moodle.org, and I saw stars. So like I said, all the code that I've done today is going to be open. I'm going to put it in my blog. I'm going to put it on iMoot as well. You're going to be free to dissect it any which way you want. So I'll just climb up for a while for any questions. You like the spinner? It's a nice Rubik's Cube here. Spins. So it takes away the monotony. So what's the time now? We have until 22. We have until 10:45 Malaysian time. I don't know what time it is over at your place. Right now it's 10:40 p.m. Vinny, we've got 5 more minutes for any Q&A, any questions.
Hi, Frankie. This is Vinny. I just thought I'd jump in, and yeah, if anybody's got any questions that they want to ask Frankie, then please do so. It's really cool. Really love what you're doing there. Thank you for presenting for us again, Frankie. So Yeah, if people do have any questions, please either pop them into the chat or put your microphones on and have a chat. And enjoy the rest of the sessions, everyone.
Vinny, we do have a couple more minutes. I just want to reiterate again, the main reason I did this was I was faced with a teacher who just dragged and dropped PDF files, majority of them PDF files, file resources onto the course page. And the lecture is facing students who are new to Moodle. The students are using the smartphones, using the iPads, various devices. And I wanted to keep the momentum going. The headmaster or the principal of the institute was very supportive. And so I thought that with this additional tool, it would make the life a little bit easier. It would make opening PDFs more fun rather than the usual go to another place, view, and then jump back to Moodle. So every time I go to the website, I instinctively click on the link, and the window pops up, and I like I said, I feel good about it. I feel nice. I think it enhances the content of the PDF, and the better the PDF is in design, or the content of PDF, once you put it into a fancy box, once you put it into a pdf.js inside a fancy box and it pops up, then in your face, right? It's there on the Moodle course page. It enhances the content of the PDF. So it's got a nice synergistic effect there. It's a nice design effect. As far as I think, in my humble opinion, I think it's nice. I like it, and I hope that others, Bess and Gareth and others, you could look at it and improve it, make it go leaps and bounds, make it go where no man has gone before, like what William Shatner used to say, and best of all, it's for the community. So yeah. So it's 10:43 according to my clock. Maybe just 2 more minutes of activity, and then yeah, maybe just one last snippet on the add-in. At my office, we use Adobe Acrobat X to remove the print permissions from the PDF files. And what I found out was that, as what others have found out also, is that when you open a PDF file that where the print permission has been disabled, when you open that PDF file inside Firefox that uses the pdf.js viewer, the Firefox's inbuilt viewer removes that permission. So the user is able to print that, is able to print the document, the PDF document, even though somebody had restricted the printing. So just a little caveat there about using opening PDF files that have been print disabled using Adobe Acrobat X. A little warning or caveat there when you open such a file inside the browser, inside pdf.js, the user is able to print it, even though the print permission was removed. Okay, so we got 1 more minute. Thank you for your comments. Yeah, I heard about Generico. I'm not sure how exactly it works. I've not really got my head around it. Again, something worth looking into. Thanks, Jeff, you mentioned that. So how many of you thought that you learned something new today? That you saw something that you took for granted, but then, whoa, there's a totally different angle to it, and it's possible. Yep, it's real. Yeah, you're welcome, Sarah. Thanks for your kind comments. Thanks, Elmer. Yeah, so all power to the user, especially to the newbie user. Let's support them. Let's give them all our support. And let's make technology work for them rather than against them. And let's make technology usable for the new teachers to Moodle, as well as the new teachers to students, as well as the new students, the new users of Moodle. Let's make Moodle exciting. Let's make it fun and funky. And together with your effort, collective effort of the community, we can move Moodle to maximum coolness. Okay, so it's 10:46. I'm going to sign off here, give you all a break. Thank you very much. You've been a wonderful audience. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Vinny. Thank you, everyone who's involved in iMoot. Thank you, Gareth. And if I missed any other names, I love you all, okay? Love you all, and thank you very much. God bless you. God bless everybody.